Baby, I'm a gangster too. It takes two to tango. You don't wanna mess with me, mess with me. Baby, I'm a gangster. Baby, I'm a gangster too. Baby, I'm a gangster too.
I'm a little bit irritated. So I come out of the gym and for some reason my fairing right here, or this plastic piece, is off my bike. Somebody, while I was in the gym, came out and took off a fairing for whatever reason. I have no idea why they would take it off, but I looked my bike all over. I couldn't see anything officially wrong with it. I was like, okay, well, maybe it's a wire, maybe they cut a wire or something like that. So I started my bike, everything ran fine. I got it up to operating temperature, the fans cut on, it was cooling itself. Like, honestly, nothing was wrong. So I cut my bike back off. I go ahead and put my fairing back into place. I give it one last look over. I compare pictures that I have of the bike from previous photos that I've taken. I compare pictures, nothing looks out of the ordinary. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna just go, right? So I put my helmet on, my gloves, you know, get ready to actually ride. I go to cut on my bike and it won't start. Zero, like, still had battery, like everything's still cut on, but it would not start. And I'm like, why is it doing this? It just ran 5 seconds ago. It took 0.2 seconds to start up like it usually does. I had zero issues with it. And then all of a sudden when I'm getting ready to ride, she just won't start. It's acting like the battery is just completely dead. So I'm like, I'm getting frustrated at this point. And I just ran, so my legs are absolutely dead, and I'm like, I'm gonna have to bump start this damn bike. So I'm sitting there and I'm pushing it down the damn driveway, I'm pushing it down the parking lot as fast as I can. People at me looking at me weird. And I pop the clutch, it starts just fine, and I take off. But ultimately, that's not what this video is about. I am on my way to look at another bike. Guy that I work with is selling his 2007 Ninja ZX6R. And you're like, hey, why do you need another ZX6R, especially one that's 2 years older? Wouldn't you want a newer bike? Wouldn't you want to upgrade the CC? And you're absolutely wrong. I don't want a bigger bike. This bike right here is plenty of power for me. 1000 cc, I'm not going to be able to use that power on a street, and I don't have a track anywhere nearby my home. There's no point of having 1000 cc. 600 works just fine for me. But the bike isn't for me. My wife has shown interest in motorcycles in general. She loves when she's able to be a backpack and we go on a trip or something like that. I've tried teaching her how to ride. But I feel like she'd be more comfortable if she knew that it was her own bike. And you're like, why are you going to start her off on a 600? Well, because I started off on a 600. Granted, I had experience growing up with dirt bikes and four-wheelers and, you know, being on two wheels back then. But I feel like she can handle it. If I do anything, I can teach her just simple clutch control, and she'd be able to get on an H2 and ride perfectly fine if you understand the discipline of clutch control. So we are on our way to go take a look at it, take a look at the bike. I have seen pictures of it, I have seen videos. She looks absolutely amazing, but I'll show you guys once we actually get there what the bike looks like. Alright, so we are gonna go and give this thing a nice little test ride. Kickstand's weird. See what the clutch grabs. It's definitely not as loud as my bike. I will have to fix these mirrors here though. Yeah, the clutch grab's a little bit further out, but it's adjustable though. All in all, it looks fairly good. The previous owner, not him, but the previous owner just absolutely had this thing looking like a wreck. And I'm gonna see if I can get those pictures for you, because I want to show you just how bad the previous owner had this bike looking. But we're about to take this on the highway real quick, and then we'll run through downtown, and then we'll go from there. Very smooth shifting, very smooth shifting. Oh, throttle's touchy. But it's not ridiculous power either. My bike is definitely faster. Tops out at 134, and it just doesn't want to go. That can't be. It's stopping at like 12,000 RPM. It just doesn't want to go above 12,000. Let me try a lower gear, see if it'll go above 12. I don't know. It did for a second. I'll definitely have to adjust this brake lever because I have to squeeze this in quite a bit. Oh, that's as far as it goes? Yeah, this thing is nothing crazy. It's a lot more comfortable than my bike is, though. I'll tell you that much. I could take this thing on trips. I could drive for hours on this seat, which I know that's something that she'd appreciate too. Is that it's a lot more comfortable, and a lot has changed in 2 years that Kawasaki has made Ninjas, because my bike is just an absolute demon compared to this. Like, my bike is fast. It's not ridiculously fast, but it's no, this thing could not touch my bike. Alright, let me head back and talk some more about this, and then we'll see what's going on actually. All in all, there are a couple of concerns that I have with the bike, like the fact that it won't go above that 12,000 RPM. It feels like that it's hitting a governor for some reason, but it's not drawing power or slowing me down and then building me back up if I keep accelerating. But it just cuts at 11 to 12. It just cuts completely, and I can't go above it. But it's only cutting that high RPM when I'm in 3rd, 4th, and 5th gear. 1st and 2nd gear won't cut it. Now, I didn't try to send it up to the red line, but 1st and 2nd I took it to about 14, and I could feel that it didn't want to cut. But for some reason, 3rd and higher just wanted to cut at 11 or 12 RPM. So if you know why that's going on, please let me know. I'm sure that he would like to know as well, because I brought that as a concern to him. And then also the brakes. The brake lever was weird. So when I hit the brake lever, I have to squeeze so far in order for it to grab that I'm actually hitting these 2 fingers, and I'm like pinching them. So in order to hit the brakes, I had to let go completely with all 4 fingers in order to pull the brake. And if you know, if you're riding a bike, you don't want to do that, because odds are you're going to put more effort into pulling the brake than you wanted to, and locking the front wheel could cause you to go down. So it's always taught to use the 2 fingers whenever you're pulling and leave the other 2 still on your throttle. But he's gonna check out those two things. Besides that, the seat was so comfortable. Like I said, that's something that I can take on for long trips, something very easy for my wife to do. The throttle was a little bit more touchy. I have just a little bit of play in my throttle. That throttle had zero play in it, which I'm not arguing about. Something that she'll just have to get used to. And then the clutch lever, it grabs a little bit further out than my clutch does, which again isn't an issue at all. Now the history on it, he said that it has been laid down before on the previous owner. She claimed that it was in a parking lot. She was in a parking lot and she just happened to tip it over. But besides that, if he's able to either fix those two things, or if he can't fix those two things, we'll negotiate a price on it, and I might just have to take it off his hands.